Let us pray. Almighty God, we ask your blessing to be with us tonight as we join in this city council meeting. We ask that you will bless our mayor and city council members in their discussions and decisions made, and all those who have gathered to share in this meeting together. We pray for all who live and work in our community of Jeffersontown, and ask that you will keep us safe and well, and especially all those traveling in this spring break time. And we ask, oh God, that you will bless our world, especially those devastated by war. We pray your blessing upon them and their families and all who are separated, and we pray that it will end soon, that peace will come. And we ask that your will might be done there, here, and everywhere, for it is in your holy name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tony, you want to get up and speak? Appreciate it.
I'm Tony Allback, J-Town resident, 38 years. I live over on Eastview, right near the police station. What I want to talk about is a little parking problem. My street is narrow, right up there, especially towards Taylorsville Road. And it's the restaurant parking, like Friday and Saturday nights. Now, I love the restaurant. I love it. But the parking on the street is just too much. They're parking in my yard a little, which I really don't care, but the street is just too narrow. I mean, it's two cars can't pass. Even normally, two cars can't pass. People have to pull over. It's always been like that. I was wondering, can't we, or could we ban street parking on my street? They do it, you do it during the Gaslight Festival, you know, for the maybe fire department, police or something. My neighbor, it only really affects me and my next door neighbor, because after us, the street widens further down. So I just thought I'd get the ball rolling.
Usually what we'd ask is for you to get a petition or a signature of your neighbors saying they want the no street parking. Mm-hmm. And we can do no street parking on both sides, no street parking on one side, but if we do, we have to know which side. But be careful, because when you say no street parking, that means if somebody comes over and visits you or visits somebody, they can't park on the street.
There is never any street parking.
I'm just telling you. I mean,
yeah.
In some neighborhoods, the people, yes.
I've noticed it. Some people get a little aggravated because all of a sudden all these cars are here when they're just trying to get to their house. But
so we just asked you, if you would, just walk to your neighbors and just say, hey, do you mind if we take a petition up? Petition is a big word. Just request up.
Do I need a signature?
Yeah.
Do I need to write up something?
Just says we would like to have no parking, again, on both sides, or the east, west, or whatever side, and from address 202 to address 272 or whatever it is. So we have something in writing, and then the council will say yes to that.
Can I ask you a question? I think that there's parking behind the church.
There's a world of parking behind the church, on the street, in that dry cleaners right across from there. The restaurant people, we've talked about this a couple of times, and they park on the Taylorsville Road to try to encourage people to say, hey, you can.
The restaurant employees do?
The owners.
The owners, right.
The employees actually park in the behind the church.
Right.
As they walk through, I see them.
Well, you know, I know that girl personally, and I'll be glad to tell her that, you know, that they really need to encourage their patrons as they come in, ask them where they're parking, and if they need to go. Oh, you got something to say, Steve?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in the lobby when you were talking to Mr. Thompson about this. So what I did was I did go talk to the restaurant owner, because this is over here at Eastview.
Right.
About that, and I actually provided her with a couple of maps, digital maps that she can put on her website, her social media, showing that the parking behind the church next to Elmer Paul and the on street. So she was going to try to be proactive
Good.
and take care of that. I know it's really him and his neighbor, because then you get Grape Street, and once you get past that,
Right,
the road widens
right.
out. Across the streets, the dry cleaners. I don't think they have a problem in the evening if people actually park in there because they're closed. And then you've got the apartment.
Right.
So I tried to be a little proactive with
And that's good. And those people are very understanding. I don't think that they'll try to accommodate you, sir. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, it's people trying the place for the first time. So I've noticed that.
Uh-huh.
Go over there and complain once, you know, and the owner got the people out, and they moved the car. Another time I had to leave a note on the car because they were throwing it.
Wow. No, it's still your grass.
So, and I don't really care about grass, but it's a thing. I just,
Right.
So we can do either, Steve talked to them. Carol will talk to the owners again. And if you want to go ahead and get your neighbors to sign it and turn it in when you're ready to, you can go as far down the street you want to, or as little down the street you want to.
they're a minimum.
No. Well, I mean, we don't want just in your yard, but yeah.
Yeah, not too.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll not.
I mean, to Steve's point, if you want to go down to Grape Street and cut, then that would be all, that'd be fine.
Right,
Or
well,
some-
One of the little things, I was thinking about the fire department, you know,
Legal-
the fire truck could not get.
Yeah, legally, if the fire truck can't get through, they can get ticketed.
So I talked to the fire department. But
Well, I would see, rather than, we don't want to give a bad taste to somebody coming to our town. So if we'd be easier to put no parking up if you all want that.
that's just all I want.
Yeah.
From here to Florida, from Grape Street, basically in front of two houses.
Yeah. So get the two of you and across the street also.
All those apartments over there.
Right. Right.
So get your neighbor to sign, you signed, and just give us something that says, yes, we'd like this meant no parking, and we can go from there.
Are you in the blue house? Is that what color? Okay. I know where you are. Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
you might
All
want to
right.
get with, he did the same thing for I Love Tacos.
Oh, yeah,
So he's familiar with the process.
yeah. Were they parking in your, blocking your drive or something? Okay.
Well, actually, you don't have to go to any extent. I mean, just the two, you get you and your neighbor to sign it, it's done pretty much. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about all the brick and roll. Just do it. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Reading of the minutes, March 15th, 2022.
Mayor, I would move that the minutes be approved as distributed.
Second.
Any deletions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Carol, you're sliding here.
I got a mess up here.
Yeah. All right. General fund warrant 1558.
Make the motion, general fund warrant number 1588. Be it approved.
58.
1558.
Second.
Do you have any discussions?
I have three questions.
Sure.
Page 10. Notice that there's an overpayment on
Bill. Page 10.
page 10 of the general fund warrant, sir. Halfway down on the, there's a $4,600 overpayment refund on the highway grant for the, I didn't know the police department got highway grant funds. Is this something new or?
Go ahead, Holly.
We get a highway safety grant from the state. Chief can tell you a lot more about it than I can, but we do have an employee.
It's a safety grant, okay.
Yes, it's a highway safety grant. We do have an employee who works
Can't
overtime
hear either.
for that purpose. We get a grant reimbursement for that overtime from the state, and the state made an error and they accidentally reimbursed us too much. So they actually called me to see the best way to treat it. And because it's an issue that just happened, I said, let's go ahead and write them the check back now. That way, by the end of the year, it's all straight. We don't have to worry about it.
Okay, that's good. Page 13. On the, towards the bottom, about 3/4 of the way down, the community center cleaning. There's $11,000 in cleaning. Is that, was there something out of the ordinary there or what do we have to do?
Where do you see
When
that?
What do
people,
you see?
Page 13, about 3/4 of the way down. It's $3,100 followed by $8,000.
No, I see.
when we have a group, we have people that come in and clean it and get it set up for the weekend. Set it cleaning for 2 months.
What?
Okay, I saw two different. I just assumed it was.
Do we do charge people a cleaning fee though, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So do we recoup that much money?
No.
I could find out. We have saved deposits before also if they've damaged it to where they had to clean more. If it's beyond that.
Yeah, I'm just not used to seeing that much in the
I'd just
cleaning.
be curious if they offset.
Bill, do you know?
I know if we,
Did
as much as we pay,
right.
probably not.
You don't know them?
I know we don't collect enough money because it's expensive for those to set up and tear down and all that kind of stuff. Now, we do charge a setup fee, do charge a cleaning fee. Sometimes it takes longer depending on how big the party is and how small the party is. Holly said this is for 2 months, and it was probably during our last couple of months, we've had the building booked almost every day. So, yeah, we might have made enough money to cover it. But
And we've also kept deposits where people have overzealously partied.
Yeah, I know about that one. Yeah.
yeah,
So-
we,
Well, there's more than
I
one.
would say
Oh.
we probably held deposits on 6 or 8 people this year so far.
Okay.
They just make a big mess. Or they don't clean up. They're supposed to take out the garbage and all that kind of stuff. When they clean up at night. If they don't, we take some of their deposit fees.
Well, it looks like it's just more of an anomaly. I'm just not used to seeing that. Now, the last question is on page 26. I'm sorry. Yeah, 26. We have two bills that we paid to Rumpke. 2 monthly. Did we get billed? Looks like we got billed twice, towards 3/4 of the way down. 131,000 each, or 131 to 133.
It's 2 different months.
One says 318, one says 401.
Okay,
So
I see.
if you remember, this last council meeting, it was only like 8 pages for the warrant.
Right.
Okay, usually we have somewhere between 17, 18, 20 pages.
That's
Got
So
extra.
Holly was gone during that time frame. We didn't make a double payment to Rumpke. It was just 2 months and it just
Okay.
got carried over to the warrant. You got to remember that the warrant, we stop it on Friday before, so we pay some other bills and the next warrant comes up.
When does that contract with Rumpke expire?
I believe it expires,
I don't know. We'll have to look and let you know.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'd like to know that.
Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Road fund warrant 945.
I make a motion we approve road fund warrant 945 as distributed.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. The next item on the agenda is the funding request. We had several people that came and requested money at the last council meeting, and then at this time, we will allot the money if you so choose. You have four funding requests. You have, I'll just tell them, and then we can go back through them real quick. You have Eastern High School Project Prom. They are asking for $5,000 this year. You have Plainview Swim Team, which is asking for $2,000 this year, and I can go back and tell you what they're asking for possibly. And then you have J-Town Christian Church just asking for $3,000, and you have J-Town High School PTSA that's asking for $10,000. So to let you know, the $10,000 for the high school is for $1,000 for a scholarship. Senior scholarship program, $4,000 for spirit wear, $1,000 for a staff appreciation, and $14,000 for a key card entry system for a total of $20,000. For the,
Can we just talk about that one for a minute?
you can do whatever you want, Carol.
Okay, thank you. Okay. If y'all remember correctly, they came here last time and said that they didn't even have enough money over there to put in any T-shirts and anything into their bookstore. And I think that was one of the things that they were trying to do, was to supply their bookstore. The next thing is this key card thing. I totally think it's a great idea with everything that's going on with schools. I don't know that that will keep people from getting in or getting out, but I think it's a good idea as far as that. Then I go back and I see what they're getting from all the money that the federal government's getting them. And evidently, they're not giving any to J-Town because I've said this before and I'll say it again. J-Town High School is an embarrassment to our community. And I think we should get on them more because you go over there and the football field is a mess and everything else. And luckily, the people that were J-Town alumni is the ones that helped with the tennis courts, just like we ended up giving them money. But I mean, they have money there. I just think, like my mother said, the wheel that squeaks the loudest gets the oil. And I think sometimes they need to oil our wheel down there. That's all I have to say about J-Town. J-Town Polio's office.
Polio. Okay. Good. Okay. With that, we can make a decision on that or look at
No,
all
you
the
can
rest
keep
of it.
going. I just wanted, it was fresh in my mind. I wanted to say it.
Yeah, the key card entry, they do have a entry system, I believe, but this was to upgrade it to something different. So the J-Town Christian Church was we actually had done that. That was the $3,000 that we all were at that night and gave it to them for
Yeah,
the
that's already been done.
tornado relief. So that one you all did do. So that's off the table. The swim team has asked for it for
2K.
Do
I think it was 2,000 from the
2,000. Yes, it is $2,000.
What was the other one? What were the other ones, Mayor, so I can put it on this sheet? I'm sorry.
So Eastern High School project graduation. There were
Right.
How much did they ask for?
5,000.
Yeah. They were asking for kickboards and
They want to put
they want a trophy case for all the awards they've had.
Two different
And-
things. Yeah, he's typing in the HS. You're talking about Plainview, correct, Mayor?
Thank you. Right.
Yeah, they wanted 2,000. There was one more you said, Mayor.
And
I'll-
then the last one was the Eastern Project Prom. They wanted $5,000. Now, we have in the past given them a lockdown for a couple $100, I understand. And this one, they're doing this is after the prom,
Yes,
I think,
after the prom.
Malibu Jackson.
and they're giving out gift cards.
gift cards with it and everything else.
Trying to get the kids to come back there rather than to be out on the streets, which if it saves a life, that would be money well
I'm
spent.
not sure legally, do we have a problem giving kids gift cards with tax dollars?
Bill Fox, line 47 is Plainview Swim Club 2,000.
It's up here on 13.
That's the swim and dive team, Bill.
I
Okay,
know, it's up there on that one.
okay.
In the J-Town parent teachers,
Yeah, that was 10,000. And then the,
project graduation.
47 and 48, those two lines are the same thing.
JT,
Project graduation
J-Town
is
was
project prom.
10,000, Mayor? Or was it 5,000?
3,000 for
delete that,
Eastern,
yeah.
10,000 for J-Town. Skylar, if you want to answer
the
the
next
gift cards, can we give gift cards?
Since we would be giving the money to the group, rather than buying the gift cards directly, it's a technicality without a difference, but it is a big technicality. That makes it legal.
Okay.
We're not in any culpability from a standpoint of they're coming to get the gift cards and something happens to them over the.
No. We're not giving gift cards. We're giving the organization a sum of money.
So I will entertain any motions or any requests, or you've already done the one, as I said, for the tornado relief. So the last of the three, yes, maybe half yes, or
Well, Eastern in years past, I believe we gave them $500, correct?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, and and I think the most recent time, Ray, was $1,000. We
Okay.
didn't do it last year because
In the
COVID.
facility, right?
No,
Then they used to use Jeffersonian?
well, I don't know.
I thought that was,
No, they were over at
They used the high school, I believe.
Mava.
I'm wrong.
yes, Skylar.
On that, as I recall the discussion, what they were telling us about, our prior donations had been for their graduation program, and this is a different program. They've moved it to the prom. So just to draw those factual distinctions and
correct.
remind everyone that they're doing a different thing.
But it's
this year.
not the prom.
No, it's after
After
prom.
the prom.
It's after the prom. Yeah, in connection with the prom rather than graduation
Well, if
as
you-
before.
Prom, if you go out to eat, then you have your prom, and this would be the party after the prom.
Right.
I like where we were before with the donation, with the
Yeah.
contribution before.
I would like to go 1,000 to EHS, maybe 5,000 to J-Town and 2,000 to Plainview, but I'm just one voice.
Okay, so
5,000 for J-Town for what, Ray?
For their, I think it was for their,
To help what I just said about?
yes, the,
J-Town, you say 5,000 for J-Town, their request, well, let me go this way. Okay, let me try to do this real quick. J-Town swim team, 2,000 was the recommendation.
Plainview.
what they asked for?
I mean, Plainview, I said Plainview.
Plainview,
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
Plainview.
Plainview swim team, 2,000. Does everybody?
Is that what they asked for, Mayor?
Yes,
Yeah, they asked
yes,
for 2K.
Yes, 2,000.
And that's what we had given 2 years ago.
Okay.
So with that, is that good
That's
with
fine.
everybody? We'll have Bill put the 2,000 in.
Mhm.
Okay, Bill, you got that?
Yeah, he's got it in there.
Okay, and the next one was the J-Town High School. They're requesting 10 of the 20,000, and the suggestion was 5,000. They're wanting to use it for spirit wear, staff appreciation for $1,000, and scholarship and the Keyway. You could take the 5,000 if you want to, so choose that number and use it for any one of them, or just give it to them in general. Now, this is a PTSA group that is a two-person group right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, like, that's the one thing that scares me a little bit about this donation is, they're starting the group back up. It had been defunct.
Mhm.
There's no real guarantee that it'll continue. I think if we're going to give money, it should be in something that helps the group continue, not like a one and done. So, like, I guess the spirit wear, if they're putting it towards spirit wear, they can recoup that investment, which will continue to fund the
Right.
group, right? As opposed to, like, I think the teacher appreciation, which I think is nice, but after you buy something for the teachers, you're done.
Right.
Right. There's nothing to keep the group going. So I think, like, if we're going to give money to them, it needs to be something that will help the group keep going. So it's not like a falling on deaf ears.
What happened? Did they disperse or what happened?
I'm trying to remember from when they were here, they just said that
Don't have volunteers.
didn't have volunteers and they wanted to do it.
So was there money? Does anybody know if there was money in that account when they just didn't have volunteers?
Sure.
No.
Well,
It was
Typically,
depleted.
I believe those are individuals set up the 501c3. And then if they just leave, the money goes with them. They can
Is it
donate
a-
anyway.
Is it a 501? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just seen when
They set
somebody
them up
get the
all the
money
time
in
with
the wall.
the youth sports programs do it all the time too.
No, but I don't know if this is a 501 or not. I don't know if you'll
No,
ask.
I concur with Councilman Bloom that I'm fine with the spirit where I have reservations on the key card entry system. I think that's something the
Right.
school should do.
I have reservations on that too. I hear the
And
public schools taking.
staff appreciation, what he said, his sentiments, I'm fine with that too.
I agree because, we've all been hit. My personal property taxes went up $1,500 this year. And a great deal of that is because of JCPS.
Right. Exactly. That's
So
what I'm
they got the
saying.
money and they just choose not to spend it. They spend it in ways they want to, not ways that we necessarily agree with.
Let me ask you something, Mayor. Why couldn't we give them this? But why could we not write them a letter or have our city attorney write them a letter with some teeth in it that says, we are a city that are proud of what we have, and we don't feel like that you're holding up your end of the bargain, and you don't. Just something to say. Hey, give us some money out here. Take care of this school. It's in our hometown. You know what I'm saying? But maybe if they came from you, it might have more weight than if it came from me, although I weigh more. You tell me.
I really can't answer that question. I'm not going to go there, but
Well, I can answer it.
but to answer your question, if to
You know
write
what I'm
this,
saying, Scholar?
to
Could we
write-
say something as a group?
Mayor, I was going to say whatever your pleasure is on that, but one of the things that we can do on a gift like this is give it in increments.
That's a good idea.
For example, $500 a month to be spent on spirit wear, and then track it And if it is going off the rails, for example, if it's not thriving, if they're having a problem, then we could take appropriate steps before the money is dissipated. That's one alternative we could.
Or just provide receipts before we pay for them.
You
I don't
could
know
do
that
that.
they can pay for it up front. I don't think they have it, right?
So
I'm all for helping J-Town High School.
I am too.
I'm all for it.
But to answer your question, Carol, to write a letter, just say, hey, we want you to spend more money out here. It's a nice letter, but it doesn't do anything. So I would recommend if you all want something exact and know the dollars, it'd be better to write a letter. We would like for you to do this out at
Who was
J-Town High School.
who was the person who came here with that? Who did the request?
She's not here, I don't think.
There's a Heather Mattingly, I assume that's who it was, who's the
Okay.
president.
Well, personally, again, I like the idea of the spirit wear. It's going to get, let's go ahead and build back the confidence in the community and the loyalty back to the school. And I'm fine with the increments as well.
I like
That way, if
too.
it doesn't work out, we can stop that at any point. Not to exceed the amount that they want for spirit wear.
Right.
Now, you've also got, not to knock it down, you've got a few weeks left of school
That's what I'm saying. Yes, right.
and a few weeks left of this budget. So if you hand them all the money right now, it's not going to be
Yeah.
sold.
Might want to go 1,000, Mayor, because it's hard to order that small increments anymore. Things have gone up so much.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like, if you're going to order enough, you get a better bang for your buck when you order more than less.
Is that a recommendation for 1,000 a month or not to exceed?
Not $1,000 a month for 12 months?
No.
Up to
No,
5,000.
not to exceed the 4,000.
Okay.
Is it 4, not 5?
No, they're asking for 4 for spirit wear. And then I would want that earmarked for spirit wear only.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and so they would be eligible for future.
They could come back in the fall. Yes.
Come back, but they don't have to show a profit, because I'm just thinking like the 3 months over when school's out, they're not going to have any money. They're just making investments in buying spirit wear.
Unless they were to do it on sell online, I guess. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever y'all's pleasure. You could do 2,000 now and 2,000 in the fall.
Let's do
That
that.
might be simplified right there. 2,000
Let's
now,
do that.
2,000
Yeah.
later.
I
Y'all
like
in
that.
agreement with that?
2,000, 2,000, yeah.
in the fall, you set a date. I mean, you want to do it before school starts in August or?
They could.
Well, if we give them the 2,000 now, by
Right.
the time that they get it ordered, that'll be just stocked in by the time school starts in August. I would
You-
think that people are real excited about going back to school and they want a J-Town
We only got
t-shirt.
about 6 weeks of school left.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. It's okay. So what if we did 2,000 now and then had them reapply to us in the fall? Okay. Would that do
Oh, but our fault. We don't go until, when do we start? getting
September?
No, but they don't go through until.
Last week of
November.
August. Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
school
okay.
start up last week of August. I mean, you'd want to get that stuff printed up before school starts.
Right.
Yeah, before football season, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, to keep it simple, because we're
we're
going
getting
on
long
a
here.
$2,000
Okay.
project.
Yeah, right.
$40 million city.
3,000 now, done.
What you want to?
If somebody
fine.
would, if somebody would make a
3,000.
recommendation, and then we'll move forward.
3,000.
Recommend
You want to just
I
do,
will.
Go ahead and give them 2,000 now and 2,000 at the beginning of the school year.
okay?
And I second that.
Okay, everybody in favor? You don't have to vote on it. Is that okay with everybody right now? Move
Yeah,
forward.
that's fine.
Okay, and then the last thing is,
Ball and all those that are down here on Second Chance. They come back to us this year? I don't remember seeing those. Number 1 up to the second.
Oh, last year they got that on the second chance.
Turn the microphone on. sir.
I'm done talking now.
Eastern High School prom,
That's the after.
After prom.
after
Yeah.
prom,
I think maybe what we did last year would be suffice on that.
1,000.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Everybody good? Okay, so to vote on the funding request, we have Eastern High School prom at 1,000. We have the J-Town swim team at 2,000, and we have the spirit wear at 2,000 and 2,000.
Yeah. So Plainview Swim Club 2,000, J-Town PSTA 2,000, and Eastern 1,000. Yeah.
Well, actually, 4,000 for J-Town's.
2 and 2.
Let's be 2 and 2.
I
Yeah.
think we should get.
So
That's
you
what we
got
have right now.
4,000 for J-Town PTS. Hey,
Huh?
It'd be a total of 4, but
A
just-
total of 4, 2 now and 2 September.
September is another budget, just
Right.
to let you know.
It might be like a carry forward, you know, like we've already.
Well, I won't carry 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So you want 4,000 there, but only pay 2 now.
2 now and 2 in September.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all happy with Eastern?
Do we have a motion for that?
So moved.
It's plenty.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, moving right along, is item number 8, first reading resolution 694, series 2022. Has to do with property on Plantside Drive. Steve.
Okay, this is a revised detailed district development plan with a facade waiver for property at 11100 Plantside Drive. It's for Clayton and Croom building expansion. There's the building with the red Pentagon on it. Formerly was a gymnastics cheerleading facility. They moved out. Clayton and Croom, high-end leather manufacturing company, has moved into that site. They need, for distribution, they need a loading dock. So you can see the existing building, the yellow diamonds on the 3,000 square foot building addition that will have a facade facing the road, so they need the waiver there. They're more than 250 feet back from the road, so you really can't see that facade from the road. So that's what the request is.
They still meet their parking requirements, though, right?
Yes, they more than meet the parking requirements.
Mr. Fox, can you go back to the other overhead picture, please? Are they having semis there? Is that going to be enough room for them to turn around? Is what
They're going to back all the way down.
Yeah, they reviewed that at Planning Commission. Actually, the staff made them do what they call an auto turn to show that you could get the trucks backed up to the loading dock in there. I know that was one of, I think, Metro Public Works' early concerns.
So Steve, when you say an auto turn, they're gonna drive in the right, the normal way,
They would,
and then pull into the front parking lot, and then back into it. So
yeah,
okay,
back in.
No, we don't want them back in from the street because that curve is
Right.
going to be
Yeah,
blind.
yeah.
go into the
No,
ditch.
and that was one of my questions as well to them, and they showed that the maneuver could be made.
as long as they agree with it. We're all on the same page.
Yeah, Metro was they passed it all. They were
Yeah, they made a recommendation of
unanimous,
approval
yeah.
to us for this again.
I make a motion, we give them the waiver.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Resolution number 694, Series 2022, a resolution relating to the approval of a revised detailed district development plan and a waiver as transmitted from the Louisville Metro Planning Commission for the following development project, Clayton and Croom Building Expansion, bearing J-Town docket number 22-0003. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. First reading resolution 695, series 2022. It's the extension of Tony's Wrecker Service. Bill has reviewed it with the police department. They're happy with the service they provide to us, and we'd like to extend it for another year.
Make a motion that resolution number 8, is that 695 series
695.
Yeah.
2022 be approved as distributed.
Second.
We've had them for a long time and they're very competitive.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. What kind of surcharge do they have now that the gas is so high? I mean, is there an additional fee? Because I don't see it says the contract will remain the same fees.
I don't think it costs us anything, does it, Mayor? It costs the person.
I'll let
It
Part of
calls the person to pick it up.
It costs the person who they pick up the accidents within our area. The police department has a flat fee of $100 to tow their vehicles.
Okay.
If their vehicles become, I think that's right, isn't it, Chief? $100 that they charge the city to tow the vehicles.
Okay. So we're just recommending these.
Right.
A copy.
Well, if there's a scene, we have to call Wrecker, or the Wrecker scene.
I got one question. Sure. I got one question, Chief. Are they doing a good job picking up the accident parts and stuff in your estimation? They doing a good job? Thank you very much.
Any further discussion?
That gets my vote.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 695, Series 2022, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a one-year contract extension with Tony's Wrecker Service Incorporated for towing, recovery, and storage of any size vehicle requested by City of Jefferson
So
County.
moved.
That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
And I'll make
Motion
one
carried.
point. This is our last contract extension with Tony's based on the current contract that we have. So next year it's whatever,
It's out for bids.
it could be out for bids, or we can just keep pushing forward and write a new contract with them.
Okay.
Let me get the next item on the agenda is a resolution 696 series 2022 authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for construction management services related to the police department and dispatch. This dispatch project. This is a contract with Bruce Swetnam. We put out a RFQ for qualifications. His prices came in cheaper than anybody else. We have had experience with Bruce using him at the Public Works and various other projects around town. The police department we're building in a totally different way. We're doing, Bruce, we have the persons that will be actually designing the project, architects, engineers, and everything. Bruce will do value engineering with them in the beginning. The interesting thing is Bruce actually has taught most of these people he will be working with through Brandstetter and Carroll. I think out of 5 of them, he's taught 4 of them. So he will be working with them on value engineering of all the different products they bring into it. So that will save you money in the beginning. And then as the projects go out for bid, he will help us evaluate the bids. And then as the project gets built, he will be on the site, not every day, but reviewing to make sure it's being built the same way. Generally, what you do is put a product out for bid, as we did for the amphitheater, and you give it to a general contractor. The general contractor brings in the subs, and the subs build the building. The general contractor will hand you a key, similar to the way you're used to building a house. Well, what we're doing now is we would like to get services on an hourly basis with Bruce. And I can tell you the problem we're going to have with Bruce is he's not going to charge us enough hours. He's one that works all the time and only charges for minimum. But he will be not a 1099 employee, but similar to a 1099 employee, that he will do the value engineering with the architects and engineers. Then when we go into bidding, he will be looking for what is the best person for us. And then during the whole project, we won't have a general contractor. He is our person. So he will put out the bids for the electrician, for the HVAC, for the general, for the concrete, and then the bids will come in and he will manage those bids as it comes along. We have done it this way rather than do a flat fee. A flat fee is very, very expensive. It could be close upwards of between 500 and 800,000. This would be a whole lot cheaper than that would be. Also, because of the way we have the contract written, if you all have looked at it, some of the items will be done by us, and I don't mean necessarily Public Works, us. I mean like Matt. When we put out a bid, Matt a lot of times adds the contracts, or Skylar will help write up the per diems with all the different things that go in the contract. So when we put out the bid, we actually control the bid. He will be reviewing it and working. So if you hire a general contractor, that's what they do and you're paying them. We do that here anyway. So we will be taking a lot of the, not a lot, we'll be taking some of the items that we do here anyway and take it away that a normal general contractor. We will control the situation if we so choose. It allows us also for the police department, if we see that a contractor is not performing, we have the ability to call that contractor out, as opposed to having to go through the general to go to the contractor to get the item done. We also, because of during a pandemic, this one's going to be let out later. Tonight, you have the one coming out for the amphitheater, which is more of a real specialty item. Police department is a specialty in the sense it has different departments in it. But because of the pandemic and pricing, we're going to bid the individual items as they come out. We can come up with a solution that would be cheaper in the end run. So I'm asking you tonight to authorize us to have Bruce as our general contractor our construction manager, as part of the project. The other time that they do use the word construction manager in general terms is when they do a general contractor you'll hire a certain construction company to be your general manager, and then they will control the bids coming and going, but it's just a glorified version of the general contractor. I feel like this is something that the person is engineering for us. They're not based on a percentage of what it costs. They're based on bringing home a bid that we can live with, that is cheaper than what it should be, and value engineer whatever we can at the police department. Matt will take questions, or Skylar. Skylar actually worked with Bruce's attorney on the nuances of this. If I didn't know if you wanted to bring up anything, or anybody has any questions.
Yeah, I do. Just for record, how much is he making per hour?
It's up there. If you pull down your packet, it would show you, Bill, if you want to go up.
It depends on who's coming, whether it's Bruce or one of his associates.
He's the principal.
Yeah, he's the principal.
He's $180 per hour.
Okay.
What did we end up
Bruce
paying?
is the advantage you have with Bruce is he is a architect, licensed, and he would be the general contractor. He knows how to swing a hammer and swing a pin. Do what, Carol? I'm sorry.
What did we end up paying him for Public Works? You remember what his total was?
I do not.
I just wondered.
130,000.
How much?
130?
130.
Out of how much was the building?
60.
Oh.
In that he was the architect.
Right.
And then he was also the general contractor. So he did both for them.
So about 15%.
Yeah, but he was both the architect and the general contractor on that one.
So right now you have a architect already on call that's designing it. And he would be the construction person that you would hire, whether it was Kelly Construction or one of the construction companies.
Is there a cap on how much we can, we briefly was discussing this earlier, but is there a cap on this contract? In other words, I know I don't want to have an open-ended contract where, it doesn't come in at $500,000 or $800,000, for those services.
Skylar?
Did I see one in there? I didn't see one.
I don't believe there is a cap. What I was going to say, very importantly, is one of the problems that we have as a city or a municipality, a government, is the compliance with Chapter 45A, the purchasing compliances. Arranging under this agreement makes it much, much easier and apparent for us to make certain that we are always complying with 45A as we move forward on this project. The cap on this, I believe there are, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, estimates as to the amount of hours under each phase.
I think that was in the other contract.
Go up under Exhibit A.
Bill?
What's that?
I don't see pricing. I just see
the
phases.
To be honest, it could be that one thing the contract is written to where we can use him when we want to and eliminate if we want to do it elsewhere or by ourselves. So rather than have a cap that he works toward, we have it just on an hourly basis, the same as you would.
Right.
That's why I say it's kind of like a 1099 employee. You can use them when you want to and not use them when you don't. It's going to be extremely less expensive than hiring a general contractor to do this.
Yeah, the engineer or the architects are going to have their person on site once a week, I believe, throughout duration. So Bruce would be for oversight, I guess. I see in several things in here where he's to notify us if there's a deviance in materials or in the schedule or things like that. People here in City Hall wouldn't know that, I guess, unless he was there to see it. So I do have a question. This is for Skylar. On page 1, under the agreement, Skylar, towards the bottom under C, where it says the manager may utilize the records or personnel of city in performing of services. When he's talking about records, is he talking about paperwork records, that not city employee personnel files, right?
Oh, no. This records or personnel. Records could be, and this is boilerplate and is in every one of our contracts,
Right.
but it allows them access to our documents if they need to. For example, one of a city document in the context of this would be the plans.
Right.
So, or it could be warranties that we have on pieces of equipment that we may be utilizing. For example, taking from the existing department into the new department potentially.
And he would be
or
conferring
something
with the
like
city
that.
clerk to make sure billing was correct as far as materials that were purchased. We weren't being
Yeah.
overcharged.
Uh-huh.
The other question I had about city personnel, I just want to make sure that the directives to the personnel still come from the mayor, and not that we have someone else trying to schedule them.
Of course, and what this would, that is always the case. It's never the case where the mayor loses the mayor's authority. But what this allows, for example, Bruce could speak directly to Matt or directly to me, as opposed to speaking to the mayor, for example, about have you reviewed this purchase order? And for example, one of the things that I may look at when something is purchased, is there a provision for attorney's fees in a dispute? Well, I'll scratch that out. Those are the sort of things that they would be utilizing me for, to review purchase orders, contracts, anything like that. Matt, in the same way, in terms of what's
Okay.
being done.
And I'll accept that so the exhibit A's and exhibit B are still boilerplate things that you've done because
No,
the
no,
schematic design has already been done and things like that.
Exhibit A and Exhibit B are specific to this contract and very unique to this contract.
Well, he's not going to change it. He would not be changing the schematic design, right? I mean,
No, I would not think so, no.
Okay.
Well, again, going back to Exhibit A, that there was no cap on it, so.
Correct.
Right. You're correct.
Well, as mayor, you have it actually, to Brian's, to both of those questions, it up to the mayor to assign him to the jobs that you have in Exhibit A. So the cap doesn't be, but it's up to you. If you don't want him to do a part of the project, it's not a matter of a dollar amount. It's a matter of you just move it to somebody else.
No, it looks like there'll be times when he'll be needed on site quite a bit, and then other times when he won't be needed to do things. So
it gets back down to the question. You're wanting a motion to hire Mr. Swetnam to oversee the project,
It'd be the construction manager.
construction manager.
Project.
Right. I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not to cut any discussion off.
Well,
Hearing none. I'm sorry.
I'm still under the opinion that we could fix our current building, but I also realize I'm in the minority and that I'm going to have to bend to the will of the council. I'm a little concerned, and I hope it doesn't. I don't think the mayor believes it. And I hope it doesn't. That it doesn't get it to, charges $130,000 on a $760,000 project. Theoretically, if you took that number out, it could be $1.5 million or more in here.
Well, no. Again,
You can stop it.
you're comparing apples and oranges. That project, you had a architect and you had the general contractor.
So we
This
paid
one,
it an
he's the
architect,
general-
right?
He's the general contractor who happens to be an architect. We get
I understand.
we get that sale. Well, so if you take the 130, take the architect out of it,
I think it was about 500,000, wasn't it, for the architectural part already?
at the Public Works.
No, on the.
Oh, but you said
Which one is it?
130,000.
We've got three. It's kind of confusing because we got several different projects here going on. This is the police. So we have not even You don't have the final drawings of the police department, correct?
We got Branstetter designing them, but you used the analogy of the 130,000 for the public works as a percentage of what this could be. And of that 130,000, you've got to take out the architect fee because that's what Branstetter Carroll is doing.
Right. So would you think that taking out half of that would be fair enough for the architectural part of that 130,000?
Usually a contractor that comes to your house and does something, he's probably going to charge you 10% or 10% plus.
10 and 10.
Right.
A 10% add-on to anything he does. Now, the advantage is he will not get the 10% add-on material or the subs.
Right.
So if you want to do it as a general contractor that would give you a flat price, you're going to pay the additional 10% on materials and subs, where this one, you're just paying it for the professional service that he's providing. It's very, very, very unique.
I mean, 10% of 10 to 12 million would be $1 million to $1.2 million. You don't foresee it being that much. We don't know. We don't
One
know.
thing, I don't know where we got 12 million, but the police department right now is at 8.4, but so that'd be 840,000.
The last one we
So-
saw was in 10 million, Mayor.
Okay, if you go 10 million, that's $1 million. But it's no. Again, you don't have the 10% on the materials. You don't have 10% on the subs. So you take those out of that. You have a person that's working on an hourly basis that you control the hours.
So you don't think it'll be $1 million then for anywhere close to that?
Well,
No.
is the project gonna take less than a year?
No.
14 months.
180 hours times 280 is 374,400. So if he was a full-time employee working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, he would make 375,000 a year.
But there's also more than one person there. It's not just he's also these other people.
I don't think that,
The
honestly, I don't-
principal's $180 an hour. The architect's 165. The engineer's 160.
yes, but
Project manager's 140. Design technician's 85. You know. we
I
go
don't, I
down.
think that the way I'm reading that is Bruce will be, one of those people will be there, not all of them at any one given time. So Bruce may be saying, hey, I don't need to be there for 4 hours today. The person making $85 an hour can go for 4 hours today, save city money. He can also do a lot of this over the phone with the people, as the mayor said, that he's already educated in his own classes. So they got a great relationship. That should save us a lot of money
I'm
too.
not questioning the man's
No, but yeah, you're right.
applications. I'm just trying to get some kind of ballpark of how much we think we're going to spend on this contract.
It looks like if Tim's numbers are correct, well, and they would be at 2,080 hours a year. And if it took us 8 or 14 months from 374, we'd probably go up to close to 500,000 for over a 14-month period, if that's accurate. And so that may be a worst case scenario is what we're looking at. Maybe.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking
Is that fair, Mayor, to say that? Okay.
Sure.
for. Fair enough. 500,000 is what we're estimate.
Any
I'm
further
not holding
discussion?
anybody's feet to the fire.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
You, Tim.
Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Resolution number 696, Series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute contract for construction management services relative to the police and dispatch project. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the grant from the Jeffersontown Economic Development Authority. It was kind of spelt wrong. It's got an X in it here. We'll have to change that. But the Exonomic. The J-Town Jetta felt that the funds they have would be best executed by the amphitheater. They feel like it is a economic engine of the future. The next generation coming in is looking for amenities that aren't golf courses. They're looking for amenities as parks and event centers. So event centers is the amphitheater. So they agreed to take $850,000 of their funds and put it toward this project. They have already agreed to it. It's just a matter of whether you all want to accept the funds. I can show you on the projects how the funding will be spent and allocated as we see in the future. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That way. Keep one. Whoops.
They're giving us money. Yeah, we'll accept.
Yeah.
Towards the project.
Well, it's our money. We gave it to them. You know, they're just giving it back.
Give me one of those. I'll put it on.
It's a grant.
Well, we gave them the money, but they have developed a lot of great products out of that. So,
Yep,
whether
Mayor.
it's-
That was going to be my question. Is I know that we've contributed to Jetta, and the range is the 570 to 850. So will we not contribute in future budgets because they're going to be funding us?
Okay, the 570 is what they have in the bank. The additional funds come from the third term.
College Drive.
Okay, I'll get there. In a minute. The additional funds come from the settlement with the third term brewery. They're paying off all their properties that we have worked with them on economic development, and also with the development of College Drive, the closing of the property will take it up to 850,000 to be put toward this project.
Okay.
So as I said, they have developed the College Drive project, 2 projects with the third turn, and a couple other projects, and they see this to be the next project they would like to be involved in.
Okay. Thank you.
The money the breakdown I have given you is the funding we have, and we kind of went through some of this at the revenue budget meeting earlier, but just to kind of let you know what we have in the bank, because we have 2 projects that'll be coming down, and the 2 projects at the bottom have the cost. But the items you have is, the first item is $276,858. That's from the bank account that Bill fills that can be allocated to additional projects. You have the investment, KLC investment pool money of $1,013,285. You have the KLC investment pool money of 2020, which is $816,937. You have the CARES money that came into here, and that's a total of all the CARES money, including the additional 200,000 that went back and got 200,000+ we went out and back and added to that fund. The general fund is excess cash to expenses, which is $750,000. The bank credit card accounts that sits in there that can be used for this. Republic Bank, the Veterans Plaza money that you all have set aside over the years, as we note every year we set money aside for projects. That money, to your point, in the next several budgets will not be needed. And then the ARP money from last year was $3.443,638. That's a total of funding on hand of $11,881,302. Future funding that's coming in, the outstanding grant money that is owed to us as soon as District 5 approves it, will be $520,219. Additional ARP money, which will come to us in January, and the reason why it's here, because it's not in this budget, but it is half of what we were supposed to get, is $3,598,524. The surplus from this year we estimated, and this is also with the premium pay we've already given the employees, we estimate to have a easy $1 million surplus that we can put toward this project with additional funds for items that are needed beyond that $1 million. We estimate another $1 million the following year. We average over close to $2 million every year. And we do that purposely because there was a conversation in the revenue meeting of the surplus that we have every year. And I tell you how we budget. We budget to cover all expenses that may incur. And it could be a matter of covering overtime. It could be a matter of air conditioners that may go out. But if these items and other items we don't budget don't materialize, we have the excess funds that would turn to cash that we can use for other projects. And if what you have developed since I've been here is the system. If you don't spend it, doesn't mean you lose it in next year's budget. It just means you didn't need it in this year's budget. So the typical government budget is if you don't spend it, you don't get the increase. And the people in our community of J-Town works, they respect you guys and us that we don't take it away. So that's why we easily can say $1 million each year is there for not using. The 850 is the money that we have in this resolution, which gives us $6,968,743 for a total of all the items listed above $18,850,045. the two projects that we have coming up, the major projects that we have, and the project that was alluded to earlier was a public works project. We paid cash for that one also, but that one has already been paid for and is off the books. Is the police department right now originally was slated for $10 million. That was the estimate per square foot when we were sitting at $40,000 because, 40,000 square feet. It is estimated more between 34,000 and 35,000. If that is the case, I think they're bringing it down to about 8.4 million. We're keeping it at 10 million because of escalation possibility, but we're hoping that it will be held at that because Bruce will be watching the bids and working for the bids into the process. And the 7.5 million will be something that we'll go through very shortly of the projects over here at the amphitheater for a total of $17,500,000 rounding, which leaves us a difference of $1,350,045. So even if the surplus of the second year doesn't come in at $1 million, we've still got $350,000 over what we estimate should be. That also includes a cash on in the bank addition to this of $7,125,000. So we are not stripping the bank account down to zero. You still have over $7 million cash in the bank to carry on what we need as a city. So we project our revenues to be increased over the next years. We did the revenue today and they were very positive. Mm-hmm. We don't see any downturn, and I have to give compliments to the council recognizing that we were very conservative in our estimate, and we see the revenues coming in, shouldn't have any problem to get to this point. So that being said, that is why we're accepting and feel like we should move forward, accepting the 250,000. If it doesn't spend, then let go. To what? 850. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions or a motion, however you want to do? This is phase one of the different products you have today. The 850 is just accepting the money by the resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Accept the resolution 697 series 2022 by title only. Second, Ray.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm gonna move it down.
Any discussion? Oh, you can't move it down.
I couldn't move it.
That's what Bill's for. He's your finger.
Okay.
Any discussion?
That's why I couldn't say it because I couldn't see it.
That was a long explanation of everything that's coming up. But that's any questions or?
No, thank you for the breakdown of the funding. That was
Thank you.
It sounds
very
good.
good. Thank you.
Hearing no, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 697, Series 2022, a resolution accepting a grant from the Jeffersontown Economic Development Authority. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimous. First reading of resolution 698, series 2022. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign contract for the construction of the Performance Pavilion. Will we plan on doing a presentation on that or just questions answered? Okay. The Performance Pavilion, we put it out for bid. We had several bids come in. Two of them were within $5,000 of each other. We took the lower bid at this time. If for some reason it doesn't work out, we'll take the other one. But if at this time we have working with this contractor, Owens, who is a local contractor, they have met everything and they were $5,000 cheaper. So we're asking you to approve the $4.9 million project to continue on with the amphitheater. When we get into the amphitheater at this point, I'll kind of go through some of the numbers for you, how we got to the 750. And Matt or you all tell me if I've missed something. You've got the in the future of the 7.5 million is what we've budgeted for, not the money that we've already spent. But of course, that's part of the project as a total. But you've got the earthwork, which is around $960,000, if I'm not mistaken, right in that neighborhood. You've got this project that's around 4.9 million. And then you're going to have a concession stand bathroom that is about 400,000. You'll have the next thing that gets all the buildings up except for one of the pavilions that we may do in the future. It has the walkway that we originally going to put in there. The reason why this is taking a little while to get to you, MSD didn't quite like they said we were going to have a little water in there, but it's never been in there. But we fought them and they said we can't do the walkway the way we want it. So the walking around may be more on the ground than up in the air. So that'll save between $1 million and $2 million on the project. And then the other thing you'll be probably adding to this will be the parking and landscape and everything. So we estimate right now you're looking at
You're at 6,300,000, Mayor, right now before your parking lot.
so the parking lot would probably be sitting in around 600,000, but a major part of the parking lot, that's if we let it. The major part of the parking lot will be Public Works, because once we get the earthwork, they can put the rock in, and well, I say Public Works, and we would use our paving contractor at our paving price. The sidewalks will be put in by somebody else, so by the time we do the parking lot and the sidewalks around the pavilion, you're going to be right at about $7.5 million for the project going forward.
We didn't we spend about $500,000 designing it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you'll have the continuation of the Taylor contract, which is 175, 173.
That's another contract for tonight, correct?
Now, as I mentioned, that what they have designed and everything is not included in the 7.5 that I've given you because we've already paid it. Now, it's included in the total of the project, but for the estimated money you will need to continue the project forward, you have the $7.5 million there. Now, the monies that have been already paid to the architects, to the design team through Taylor and through QK4 is part of the project, but it's already been paid.
So it's going to cost more than 7.5 when you include those.
If you include those, you're probably sitting, well, again, if we offset it back to what the Public Works will be doing in the construction of the roads or sidewalk, the parking lots, you'll probably come out about the same.
And could you reiterate for me, just so I can hear it publicly, how much money are we getting on this project from federal government?
Zero.
What did I do with it? Just said,
Oh, you're talking about the ARPA money?
Yeah, like the CARES Act, right, as 3 million?
Sorry.
I think it's 3 million from CARES, right, Mayor?
Yeah.
What did you say? I can't hear you.
It's 3 million from CARES.
3 million?
No, it's more than that.
Okay, $3,800,630 from CARES.
Yeah,
I was
ARPA
rounding down.
And
This year was 3,500,000.
And ARPA was right around 7.2 million. Then you have
Three.
do what?
It's $10 million we got from the federal government based on the Kansas.
The ARPA money will be used for
The
the
police-
police department.
Police
Right.
department, yeah.
Because it needs to move toward a structure, and we think the police department would be the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, because what we have to do, Carol, is we have to report what we spend this money on back to the Treasury Department. We've all decided that if we put it all onto the police department building, it would make it easier
Right.
Reporting system.
reporting for us, so that in the future, they don't come back and question anything and ask us to give the money back.
Okay.
So we're being as conservative as we can. Then all that ARP's money is gonna go towards the police department.
Okay. So on this police department money that we're going to use, they're going to have, I'm sure, new equipment maybe, or do you have plans for new computers? I know we had, different
Computers
things.
are fine. The dispatch, we've got half of it, and several of the things can be used through seized funds.
That's what I was getting to.
I can't
Okay.
tell you exactly what is and what isn't. It's very sticky on what they can and can't pay for, but the computer system, we've already done that. Bill's kept that rule up. They're just going to take their computer from this room and move it to the
Okay.
other room. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All of our computers are up to date, modernized, better.
Okay.
So,
I just
so
want to make sure we have the seized funds in case we need it for any incidentals that might come.
that I don't want to get down to, hey, if they need paper and pen.
I know.
But
I know.
seized funds has to
Be used for,
in a certain way, but yes, a lot of it could be used for seized fund. And
Okay.
like the training center, we've got the what's that screen called? Simulator. We've already bought that.
Right.
So a lot of the things will be just moving over
Okay.
when we go there.
I just want to know.
So with that, the contract for the amphitheater and the event center is before you with Owens Company at this time. And like I said, if for some reason you think, well, they're not the one, and we want to move to another company, they're both right there. So, but right now, Owens is the winner of the contract by $5,000.
I could probably make it simple so that way, because I'm pretty much the lone voice against. I appreciate what the mayor has brought to us tonight. It's much different than what we've been presented to in the past. Looks like we won't have to borrow any money, zero. And we'll have about $1.3 million left over, maybe only 350 if we should tend to run over $1 million. But if it be the council's pleasure, we'll try to make it work.
Is it a motion?
No, I'm just saying. I'm the one who's going to object and drag this on all night, so I'm going to get it out of the way.
I make a motion for approval of resolution number 698, series 2022 by title only.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm still opposed because I think it's a lot of money, but I'm not mad. I'm just opposed.
So are you on record as opposed?
I'm on record as opposed.
Okay, so we got
I just want to know what we're doing.
Because I still think we could have done something like
six.
Jeffersonville for $1 million.
6 yes and 1 no. Thank you.
Resolution number 698, series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for construction of the Performance Pavilion. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to
So
approve.
moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
We have 1 opposition. The next item on the agenda is, as I mentioned, is the resolution 699 series 2022, a resolution that deals with the building that's there. Of course, building there means we just going to leave the slab, which keeps us in compliance with the floodplain. And they will make that bathrooms and concession stand. The advantage is it's not only the bathrooms and concession stand for the park of the pavilion, the amphitheater, it's also for people at the baseball park and people in the other parts of the park, whether they're walking or riding or whatever. So it'll be used multiple ways. That has been won by Churchill McGee, who just happened to be the one that lost the other one by $5,000. So we ask for your permission to sign a contract with them.
Make a motion for approval of resolution number 699, series 2022 by title only.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
You have a
Opposed?
question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I oppose. But those bathrooms, there'll be other bathrooms inside that amphitheater, right?
Yes,
Those are additional bathrooms down at this.
yes, yes.
Out in the park.
Right.
Did you oppose?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Skylar?
Resolution number 699, series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for construction of the amphitheater restroom. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to
So
approve.
moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Motion carries. 1 opposition, motion carries. The item number 14, first reading of resolution 700. Shows you how many resolutions we had this year. Series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to hire these gentlemen out here that have been leading the charge for the amphitheater phase 1 when we did the Veterans Plaza in designing the whole what the park was going to look like, and now they would be there through the time frame when we're building both the buildings to make sure it is done properly. It would be Taylor, it would be QK4, and it would be Joseph and Joseph. Taylor will be the one that will be handling the whole project, or with the others 2 coming in. It's the CE and I, and the different developments may come through the amphitheater. In other words, you need them if you're going to do the other 2.
This is just for the concession stand.
No, it's for the whole thing.
Yeah, the oversight, I guess.
It's for the earthwork, utilities, performance pavilion, and restroom building.
We do have a total on this. It's 173.
Right.
Yes.
Up to.
Yes, sir. That's what I meant.
Make a reading
Motion.
of resolution 700, reading only.
Series 2022?
Yeah.
I can't hear.
He's got it first.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
First reading of resolution number 700, series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute documents pertaining to the construction, engineering, and inspection services for the amphitheater restroom concession and earthwork utility project. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to
So
approve.
move.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion. Opposed, like sign?
Aye.
Ray, did you
Yes,
say
sir.
no? Okay. One opposition. Motion carries. Thanks, guys. Thanks for driving all the way down from Indianapolis. It must be you're doing it so perfect you don't have any questions. I just
I
want to
have
let
a
you know.
question. I have a question.
I'm sorry, it's too late. You had a chance.
Sorry, that's not about with them.
Go ahead
It's
and
about just general. If you demolish, for instance, we're going to demolish the police department building.
Right.
So a lot of times there's money worth in there if there's copper piping or whatever, because I have people steal stuff out of houses.
Yes.
So are we selling that stuff?
Yes,
Okay. And what are we going to do with it? Put it back in the project?
back in the general fund.
Okay.
And you may be able to
We'll let people
repurpose,
steal from the
Carol,
police station.
we may be able to repurpose things like the big steel purlins too.
Okay.
Yeah. But at this point in time, there's a lot of value in there, to your point. Do you have the visionaries here? In fact, Ron is driven down all the way from Indianapolis, and now that you approved everything, if you have any questions for them, feel free to. They're here to answer anything y'all may want to know about the amphitheater, the park, the design, the layout. This will be the time to. They don't have all the pretty pictures with them right now, but they do have all the answers.
They're up front, Mayor. They're in the front foyer.
Good see you again.
Oh, I didn't see him.
That's the
Thanks
pic.
for
That's it.
making
You
the
got it.
multiple
See?
trips here.
See? It's going to be a little bigger than that, but about that. Yeah.
Gonna be bigger than this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Hearing none.
questions, I see.
Thanks for driving down. I appreciate it. We'll look forward to it being built. Committee reports, Carol.
Couple things. The people on Vantage View Court have signed a petition, and they would like to have a stop sign there because I have to agree with them. Gaudette Road is a very busy road, and people going back and forth through there. And Brian, you'll probably
We discussed that with Michelle to come originally about a year. Well,
They got a petition that's several pages
they got a
down.
petition.
Yeah.
So unless you all see a reason to put this in safety committee and meet, then I would make a motion that we have a stop sign put there. But I mean, it's up to you. I know Gaudette's a busy road and people aren't going to like it, but I don't know how else to control
It's
the
up to
traffic.
them, but your recommendation is to put the
I
stop
was gonna
sign.
say, which
Right.
court is it? The word Brown?
There's actually
or the
two
one
court-
back where you are.
You guys,
No.
just call an order. She has made a motion. I need a second for her to have
I'll
discussion.
second it.
Okay, now go ahead, Tim.
Which court are they speaking of?
Vantage View Court, which
Okay,
would be,
the one
you
that
know
goes
where
down to
Truman
here?
is. When you come out of my street and you turn right, like you're going towards Bayport, okay, the next court up was Truman, and the next court on the left would be Vantage View.
Okay.
And it goes on, there's courts on both sides.
Right.
Across from each
Are you
other.
in the court across from that?
I'm in Vantage View Court.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
Chief.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, they wanted a four-way stop.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. Okay, do you have a problem with, boy, that's really going to blow people's mind.
Well, there's just two little courts that feed in right there.
I know, right there. I'm talking about the people on Gaudette. That's going to really get them.
Well, it slows down Gaudette.
It does slow down. I'm still for it,
Well,
yes.
the people at the court have to stop anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Always
They're
have.
going to the court coming out.
Not unless
That
they want
ain't
to
different.
work. No, we're good.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion
Carol,
carries.
no?
Who's second?
I think it was Brian.
Brian. Brian did.
He beat me.
That's all I have.
That's got, Ray.
A few things. We spoke last meeting, we were updating the, I guess you would call it the employee handbook.
Right.
And we talked about a minimum of 4 hours if they're called in for overtime in an emergency. And, we were gonna look at that this meeting.
Actually, you said 2 hours, but okay.
I did say 2 hours, but since then I've spoken with some police officers and they get a minimum of 4 hours for called in an emergency. And that's from door to door. So I think it's only fair to give that to the public works as well.
Okay. Say again what you said.
If you're called in, let's say it's a snow emergency
Okay.
or a tornado,
Okay.
they're called in to work. We have to pay them at least for 4 hours.
So only if they stay an hour. You're saying we're going to pay them for 4.
No, if you call them in, you pay them for 4.
Paying for, that's what I said.
So if you call somebody in and the breaker tripped at the Jeffersonian,
And all it needed to be.
on trip, they get paid 4 hours.
And let me ask you this, Bill, you're not going to be here, but what's your thought on that?
Well, I don't know what you mean, who paid. If Bill comes in because the sewer's backed up here at City Hall and he stays here and cleans them up, does he get paid?
Sorry, hourly employees, my mistake.
Just hourly?
Yes, sir.
That was gonna be my question. Are you just requesting this Public Works only? Because we had this conversation during the committee meeting that 37 and a half hour employees that are here in City Hall they wouldn't get the overtime. So are you just making this recommendation for a public work emergency?
I think so. I don't really see a whole lot of emergencies in revenue department, but there may be.
Let's go back. Let's use Debbie for an example. Debbie could be one that's called out at all hours.
She's salary.
She's salary.
She's salary.
I know, but I don't think it's fair for her to be called out and spend 8 or 10 hours over there. I guess I don't know. I have to
Well,
think about that.
Let me ask you, you also have a city attorney who may be on vacation or something. He gets a phone call, like he's had in the past, over a question he may be able to answer in 30 minutes. But you're going to guarantee him 40 as well, I guess, right?
Salary. I said hourly.
I know you said salary, but
Correct.
The question is, you don't consider people on salary worth the overtime if they work extra?
I'm just saying that we pay the police officers a minimum of 4 hours if they're called in an emergency, and we don't guarantee the public works that same.
But what I think public works are no different than the rest of our employees. I say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I think they all should get it if they're called in. If they spent,
may I ask a question,
I need to
Chief?
think about it before I
Chief,
vote on
does
that.
command staff, do they get the same thing? Okay, so if they're called in because they're needed in command, that they don't, comp time. Okay.
So
Now,
salary person does.
They get on-call pay, correct, Chief?
Yeah.
I don't believe our public works gets on-call pay.
We don't.
Y'all want to put this in committee and look through all the different circumstances of everything?
It looks like there's a lot of ramifications.
I think Ray clarified the hourly public works people. When we were talking earlier, Holly had brought up to a SR 79, whatever the number was, that Bill Fox comes in because an alarm's going off. He can't receive that. So we would have to talk about the comp time. Skylar takes a phone call, like Brian brought up. You can't get any more. You can't get overtime or pay that way. So that's where it is. But if Ray's recommendation is for public works, we can talk about it now. And then readdress this once we find out the ruling from the state.
Well, I mean, the question is, yes, they can in comp time. Yes, a salary employee can get it, but he gets it in comp time, he or she. Well, unless you're a 40-hour employee, then you get it right away. And a lot more people are getting more and more 40-hour people. But if you're saying this is only during emergency, that's a difference than if you're just working overtime.
Right. I mean, if you're here 8 hours, let's say you get off at 4, we need you to stay over to 5. That's not guaranteed 4 hours. That's not an emergency situation. I'm saying you're home, watching TV, your slippers on, and a tornado. I don't know. We did have
We've had
almost a tornado a
tornadoes.
few
Yeah, we
weeks
did.
ago. And you have to call them in. They should get a minimum of 4 hours.
Okay, so Public Works is working and the snow event is at 2:00 and they have to work till 6 at night. They don't?
They would get overtime. They wouldn't get a minimum of 4 hours. But if they stayed if they got home and they had called back in, I guess they would get a minimum of 4 hours to come back in. The extension of your normal shift is not the same as coming in for an emergency.
So Bill should not come in if the toilets are overflowing because he's not going to get any extra time because he's salary.
Well, he could. He should. He's salary. He's the city clerk treasurer. Mayor could, for that matter.
I just don't treat one employee different than other employees when they call.
But we are now. We're giving the police department 4 hours minimum overtime, and we're not giving it to Public Works.
So
We need to move it to committee then?
I would think so.
Ray, what would you say declares an emergency? How is that different from? I'm just trying to understand the point here, so that's why I'm asking. An extension of current shift. How is that different? Can you explain what you're talking about with emergency time, or how you would define emergency?
Let's say Ricky Ruckrigel's working on something electrical. He gets this baseball. Say the baseball lights are having some problems. He's working on that. He's been working on it. He didn't get a call until 2:30 that afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. He needs another half hour to finish it up. He still gets paid overtime, but he doesn't get a minimum of 4. You're home.
You're talking about somebody called in from your residence or wherever.
Yeah. Called in.
Okay, so just like getting called in or something.
So if you're on call, because we do have people that may say Public Works is on call. If they're called in at all, they get paid 4 hours.
If they get called in from home.
Everybody's going to want to be called in.
Mayor,
Well,
Mayor.
we give $3,000 to the other ones that are on call. These guys don't get any of that.
Do what?
What now?
Can I make a suggestion? Because there would be all sorts of, it's going to have to go into the personnel policy manual. So there's a lot of drafting. We've got to, what I'm hearing here, definitions of emergency, when whatever the amount would trigger. Does it apply to salary? Does it apply only to hourly? We have all of those. All I'm asking is, please let's not have a motion from the dais in the absence of documentation,
Okay.
because whatever happens will have to be very carefully
So
documented.
it'd probably be better to have a committee that defines exactly all the details that you have. Because there's more to just saying, hey, let's pay them.
Well, I know we talked about it last meeting. I thought they were waiting on scholars looking at some law on that, but maybe I'm incorrect. And you're right. I did say 2 hours last time. I've upped that to 4 after fall. Finding some information.
It's up to you guys to schedule the meeting and get the meeting. We weren't holding anything up.
Yeah, would be helpful to me to have the committee
Administrative.
meet on administrative, probably. Meet on
Ray,
that.
Carol, Pam, and me.
What's your schedule like, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, Pam's out of town, so
Next week will be difficult for me because of Holy Week.
right.
Let's say we.
What about if we do it right before the next city council meeting? We all have to be here then anyway.
It just makes for a long day, but I'm flexible, guys. Whatever your
Well, if
pleasure.
you want to do another day, that's fine.
No, that'd be the 19th. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
How's that work? Well, we got the Chamber Expo that same day, guys.
Oh, we don't want that.
It's a breakfast.
No, it's not. It's a lunch, brunch, and then they got that.
Trade show.
Thing. Yeah.
That's the 19th. Yeah, we don't want that.
So you
Sure,
want
right,
to
it
do
is.
it,
It's not lunch anymore. It's 10 to 11 instead of.
you want to do it the first meeting in May,
Sure.
5 o'clock?
Yes, sir. That'd be the 3rd.
Yes.
We're talking about May 3rd. What are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
Administrative, so what
Okay.
you'll say.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when we schedule it. There's always going to be something.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's,
5,
Yes, sir.
what we said.
Mhm.
Copy.
I will send something to Kate when she gets back in town, tell her she has a meeting. I'll send it all out to you, just so you're on the same.
It's not April, it's May.
May.
It's gonna be May.
Okay, anything else, Ray?
Yes, sir. I'm so sorry. I know it's been a long meeting, but I've got a lot to. I spoke briefly the other night, and I know it's been discussed before. Our neighborhoods and our industrial park is getting beat up with, not so much car thefts, but car break-ins. I think it's some of the catalytic converter stuff has eased up since I had that big arrest several months ago. But I know they're still losing trailers and things over there. So if we could double our lights in our neighborhoods and our industrial park, I think it would be a big deterrent to the thieves. I think we spend about $650,000 a year. Double check me on that, which would require spending about $1.3 million, which is a lot. But if it stops a lot of these thefts, I think our citizens and our people who work here would really appreciate it.
If we would fix the lights that are burnt out, would help a lot. That we don't get fixed. There's a lot of lights out here that are not being reported. I think the chief and I have had this conversation before, that I would like to see night shift when they're down. I would like to give them a piece of paper to keep in their car, and they say that there's a light out at 5706 Gaudette or whatever. That would help. And then if they could report it up to here, then Bill or whoever turns it in up here could get it on, because there's a lot of burnout lights here, guys.
Turn it to Public Works. Public Works turns it over.
But I'm not riding all night long.
Right.
Even
You're
on
telling me to turn it in?
No, it doesn't come here. Public Works is the one that calls it in.
Okay, but I'm saying the police department, somebody's got to be responsible for reporting these lights. And it's either all of us to call Public Works, but I think it would come with more weight, again, back to weight, if it came from the police department. And the police department said, hey, I just made a call over here, there's a light that's not burning. Maybe they think that's not important enough. I don't know.
No. Public. Yeah.
And doesn't it just go there for tracking, and then LG&E is the one that fixes it? So it's
I don't think
they get a long list.
I don't think Public Works doesn't pay attention to when I call as opposed to a police officer calls.
No, I just thought, I don't want to call them. I'll do it when I see it, but I'm not out all night. And sometimes lights go off and sometimes they come
Back
on. Yes. So I don't know that.
She's
I don't think people are being, I don't think they're paying attention to it. I pay attention to it like I pay attention to mattresses laying on the side of the road.
or grass, tall grass.
Tall grass, I'm on that
You
too.
report
I'm the
that.
grass,
You're the one that
grass
reports that.
Nazi. Better cut your grass in this city.
Carol knocks on your door.
Because everyone was going to get a lawnmower.
I'm going to save a few other things for a future meeting because it's getting late, but I did want to.
I don't know. You mentioned, does everybody want to double the lights? And
Well, no,
No, he just said double the lights.
Ray said he wants to take the lights we have in the city and double them.
Yeah, double
Oh.
the number of lights to increase the lighting in the neighborhoods in the night and the industrial park.
Ooh, you're talking about a lot of money, Ray.
About $650,000 a year.
That's
I'm not
that's
for
your
that right
monthly
now.
fee.
It's
That's
just a
not your
monthly.
installation.
At the installation, yeah.
Well, I think that's what they don't charge you to install them. They just charge you the monthly fee. LG&E does. I may be wrong. I may have changed, but I know it's what they used to do. They install it for free, and then it's so much a month.
Is that a motion?
No, I think we need to talk
Yeah,
about
we
that.
need to talk.
Maybe can we move that to administrative too in the same meeting?
No, that's finance.
Can I just say something?
Safety.
Can I just say something, guys?
Yeah.
LG&E has a certain pattern that they put their lights on based on the streets. Doubling them up, I don't know if that's in the neighborhoods is even reasonably possible. Because Hellbridge wanted lights over there, but somebody in their neighborhood didn't want the pole in their front yard. LG&E doesn't change their plan. If that's where the pole goes, it goes, or no lights go in. So you got to be real careful when you say we're just going to stick a couple more poles on each street to double the lights. So I think it needs a plan that we need to look at. LG&E has some kind of plan that can help us look at it. So
how do we get started with that?
My suggestion would be that I have a guy that I've talked to at LG&E. The mayor put me on to him.
Okay.
We've held off. Maybe we can put it in a committee and
In the
talk
safety
about it.
or public works, yeah. Honestly, safety or public
Okay.
works.
Okay.
So, but what I'm saying is you just can't stick a light pole in the middle of two light poles. there's a lighting pattern. they
Right.
have
I understand that
in the
because I've
city.
tried to get it before.
So,
Okay, I'll take it. Put it in safety.
Put it in safety.
Yeah, I was gonna say safety
Yeah.
probably is a good spot for it.
and I'll give you the guy's name and we can talk to him. I mean,
Okay.
I've had a
You wanna follow
couple,
up
the
with him
mayor
or
and I've
just-
talked about this, but we just haven't had time to get all the numbers around
Now,
it.
Bill,
Okay.
Bill, what you're talking is different than what he's talking about. What we're talking about is owning the lights or changing them over to LED. He's-
LG&E, I mean, LG&E will do it without us owning the lights.
No. But they're talking about doubling the light. You're talking about changing the regular lights over to LED. He's talking about putting
In
X
new
amount of
lights.
in.
Well, he said
But
new poles.
Same
that
guy
may-
could give you the price for that though.
Yeah, same guy can
Give
give
you
you
the same price, and you may save enough in utilities from switching to LED to be able to afford double the lights.
No, because
They charge it.
the billing that LG&E does is they're going to charge us the same fee if they put an LED light in on our light posts.
But they charge you,
Conversion.
they charge you to change to LED unless it's broken and they replace it themselves.
So I've spent numerous times, the mayor and I spent numerous conversations on it. We never got ourselves wrapped around what we needed to actually do. This may be a project for the future for us to look at.
So should we schedule a meeting now so we can start getting the ball rolling? Because, government moves pretty slow.
Well, I mean, LG.
Do you want to call me tomorrow? I'll call the guy and I'll get a meeting scheduled.
I will do whatever you want me to do, Carol. If you
Okay.
want me to call you, I can
I
send
mean,
you
I
an
don't care.
email
You
with
can
his
call it.
name.
I don't care. But if he wants a meeting scheduled, I don't mind having one, but we can't do another one. We got all these other meetings and Pam's on my committee again. We're making,
I'm sorry. And then finally, I looked through that.
Oh, wait. You just left this wide open. What do y'all want to do?
Carol's going to get a hold of the gentleman and going to talk to him about scheduling a meeting.
okay.
I can get the name of the guy.
I thought that was what we came to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally, I looked at the notices we got for stuff coming up, and it wasn't on there, and I was really embarrassed. My wife's cousin is president of Baptist, and I had told him I would be at their ribbon cutting, and I never got notified of it.
I was there.
Yeah, how'd you get notified?
I'll pay attention.
Pay attention to what? It wasn't in our email.
Yeah, I don't think
They sent an invite.
Yeah, I got an invite to a different email address than my city one.
Oh,
Now I don't know how they got that email address, but that's
Okay.
how I knew about it.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah, Baptist East actually called or sent me an email.
Well, it was just he said,
Baptist Hospital.
why weren't you there? I was like, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah,
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Brian.
Mayor, Finance Committee met at 5:00 and we discussed the projected revenues for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. Everything fell in line and we're happy to announce that it's basically a $30 million budget moving forward. A lot of questions were asked and very good answers given. So we look forward to having the department heads meet and then work out a budget with you, and then we'll revisit once we get that done. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ray. The committee did unanimously approve that revenue budget.
They recommend.
They recommended.
They
Approved the-
recommendation.
We were fine with it.
They liked it.
We liked it.
We vote on it.
Secondly is on the police station. And I was thinking about this because on Mr. Swetnam's contract that we're going to be giving him, the worst case scenario should be around 500. That's if he was there 40 hours a week for the next 14 months. He's not going to be there doing that. It's going to be quite a bit less. The mayor will work through that, and the next mayor will as well. But and then the last thing, and Matt, this is actually something you might be able to answer. When I was looking at the amphitheater numbers, I saw where the contractor's wanting to change order on the copper bus bars and go with aluminum. And I'm concerned about that. And that looks like the only reason they're doing that is because of cost.
We put a alternate bid out for that to see what the cost differential is.
Yeah.
And we'll probably go with copper.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
It's a deduct. Yeah, there's actually
Yeah.
a product that is a combination of copper and aluminum together. But the main thing, the deduct was not on the regular wire. but the deduct was on the service wire, which many times is copper. Out here on these lines, these LG&E lines, that's not copper, that's aluminum, guys.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon to have, probably going to your house, you probably have aluminum, but going to a commercial building like this, we decided to stay with copper.
Well, the reason I say
Your
that
house, your-
is that, and I've got this, I'm going to leave it with Matt as well,
And you
but
know what? Everyone I have that's aluminum on my home inspections, they have to change out their panel box and
No, they
put in
don't.
copper.
Not on the main service. If-
No, I'm saying if there's one box, I'm just telling you, it's been problems for me
And
throughout the years.
okay, you're not following me. It's not the Romex in the house. It's the main service wire coming from the pole to the house.
Oh, okay.
the reason I say, and to continue on with that,
And that's the only copper we were talking about looking at.
right, on the deduct, because see, aluminum is only 62% of the conductivity of copper.
That's why you have to go to a larger size when you go to aluminum.
That's right, but that's more weight and more size. And if that's an issue, my concern is the thing we've most been proud of in the last 12 years that I've been here is that our mantra's always been that we're the best of the best of the best, whether it's personnel or buildings or facilities. And the last thing I want to do is have an inferior product simply because it's going to save us less than 1% of the entire project. We're only talking $36,000 on that. So I'm glad to hear that you're going to do that, because the final analysis, they said that I'm talking about, not me, but engineering firm that I researched, was that copper outperforms aluminum. It has a lower electrical resistance, lower power loss, lower voltage drop, and higher ampacity. So thank you for
Actually, I used to sell all this.
I know you did. I know you
I
did.
can tell you exactly. That is true if you take it literally, if the two sizes were the same, but when you use copper, you use a smaller size.
Right.
So that if you up the size of the aluminum, you have all the same capacity, same everything.
And I think you have better longevity. I would hate to see us get in the facility and then 7, 8, 10 years from now have to replace all that because of
I think
the cost.
your fear is justified. Bill, I know, is familiar with this. Parliament Square almost burnt down several times.
That's Romex.
I know,
That's not,
it's
that's
aluminum
not,
wire in the Romex. Yeah.
That's the Romex. That's
I get
different
what
than,
you're saying.
that's
This is
different from being under lug, but we are going with copper, just to let you know.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And Mayor, that's all I have from finance.
Thank you. Tim.
Planning zoning has nothing to report. Thank you.
Mr. Powell.
I'll forgo my speech for the three mayors that are speaking tonight.
I didn't have any speakers.
Oh,
Good your own thing. Good your own
you've
thing.
been talking all night.
I'm sorry, Ronnie.
3.
Mr. Gazani.
I'm not running for mayor, so I have nothing to report on public
All right,
works.
Mr. Bloom. See, all this side are formal. This side.
Hang on.
Hey,
Hang on.
hey.
We're not through all of them on this side yet.
No, I said Mr. Bloom. I didn't.
Yeah.
What you got, Mark?
So nothing from economic development, but I do have 2 questions. So the first is Mayor or maybe Skylar. Could you remind the council about the status of the ongoing issue between MSD and the residents that we recently annexed when it comes to releasing the bond, or if there's anything like this?
Oh, I think he's thinking about
You
land
talking-
hire estates.
I think it's
They're still
land hire.
paying-
Oh, it's not a bond. It's a fee they charge on their.
Yeah, the MSD fee, and kind of can you remind us of why they're still paying that and why they're not releasing them from that fee? I think.
Yes, I can tell you that.
Thank you.
They had meetings with Tony Parrott, who is the executive director, president down there. And we originally proposed that they just eliminate it. And through the negotiations, through the conversations, we realized they have infrastructure that they put in, and then
It's this side of the council.
Mr. Benz down there. They had infrastructure they put in that when we annex something that they don't have ability to recoup. So from that, there was a discussion, hey, J-Town, why don't you just pay us for the infrastructure? And I said, it's not between us, it's between the homeowner and MSD. They have admitted that they can't charge a fee for a service that they don't provide. Both their attorney and our attorney has agreed to that. But we have agreed that they should be able to charge something to pay for the infrastructure. So there was a conversation of a certain percentage of that fee that they would charge over a 30-year period to recoup the infrastructure. We gave them the percentage. He took it to their board. Their board rejected it. and said that they wanted J-Town to pay half of the infrastructure, and then they would charge the balance on the fee because they wanted to get it all back in 15 years. I have since told them if we never annexed, it would take you 30 years to get back anyway, so that's an immaterial argument. So I thought that Tony was taking, or Mr. Parrott was taking it back to his board to go back to the percentage. That's the best, fair, most legal way to do it. Even though they're charging the fee, I can't stop them. I can't legally go out and erase it from everybody's bill, and people can't not pay it right now because then their bill will be delinquent. So at this point, I saw Mr. Parrott a week ago at a function, and he thought I was sending him something. I thought he was sending something. So we're at the point now that Schuyler and I, now that we've done everything you had tonight, because all these contracts have taken 3 weeks or more to do, we will be sending a letter down for him to take to the board to say, we feel that it's only fair, only legal, that you only charge a X amount of fee of what they charge right now, not a future, and then prorate it over 30 years.
And sending that down to
I will send it
MSD?
to him, and then he will take it before his board,
When you say the board, you're talking about
MSD board.
MSD board. Okay.
If the board says no, I mean, the only other recourse I guess you'd have is keep on negotiating or sue them. And it would be a lawsuit from the homeowners, not from us, because we don't have any stay in that at this point.
No standing go.
Or the new mayor can appoint a new board.
Good. Have no comment on that at this time.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say that was a great call out, right? All right. Thanks, Mayor.
All right.
And then my second question is,
As a long explanation that we're still working on it. It's taking too long.
it makes sense. I'm glad, because there's some new wrinkles in there. So I was glad to hear that. My second point or my second question would be, and this is maybe just something to think about. We might have to throw this in committee. I don't know. I don't want to throw it into that yet, but I was just thinking, with public works being utilized, it seems like at a higher rate than historically with improvements to Veterans Park, Police Department, 9/11 Memorial Streetscape projects. I know we have them to help bring down the cost. I was just wondering if we've done any analysis to see if we needed to potentially increase their staff by 5 or 7 people, so we could have kind of like a city projects team and then a regular projects city drainage type team or something like that within that department.
Jimmy is doing all that. The problem is that, as we all do, we have a hard time getting employees, period, up to regular staff, much less go farther. And just to give you one department, you think of all the projects we got going on, the landscape has gotten huge.
Yeah.
So we have started, Scott, we'll have 1 or 2 people underneath him, and that way it was just him. So that's will increase. Now, in the future, we will do an analysis of the construction, the grass cutting and all that to see if he needs more. You all have, since I've been here, we've increased it, but he's never been able to get to full capacity anyway. So yes, it should be analyzed at a later date too.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, if they're pouring a lot more concrete and they're doing a lot of these city projects to help get them set up, which I think is good. That's the right way to do it. Then maybe we need to add some extra staff if possible. But
he appreciates that, and I appreciate
that's again just my gut telling me I got no numbers or anything like that. So
no, it's good. It's good because we have the best of the best, and we always like to do it in house.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great, awesome. Nothing else. Thank you.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
It already came to you. It's my turn.
I'm sorry.
What do you got, Carol?
Okay. I talked to you a couple weeks ago about the guy in Plainview, about the garbage can, and that the people with their pooper scooper and they're throwing it in the bush over there, and then they go and throw it into the dumpster if they miss that. And then the people at the daycare have to pick it up, and then they're complaining about it. Can we please put a garbage can right there at Cambridge Station and Timberwood? That seems to be the issue. There's too much poop in the.
Can?
No, they're putting it in. They're
You need a garbage
taking.
can, though?
Yes,
Hey, I make a motion, you put a garbage can over there.
thank you.
In a second.
Well, that's not something you can do, is it?
Huh?
That has to be something like.
How much?
How much is it?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, no.
That's ridiculous.
I was going to just go to Doris Hardware and buy.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
can I do
Common
that?
sense.
You can't put something that's just going to blow away, though.
I was going to get a metal can and take it over there.
It won't stay.
Yeah, it won't be there.
If we put a chain around it. Well, I don't know. They're throwing a fit about it. I'm just
Oh.
telling you, a lot of people.
You're probably gonna have to pour a pad.
Yeah.
Put it on. So I don't disagree. That's fine if you want to.
I talked to you a couple weeks ago, and the guy just emailed me tonight again. He said, "Don't forget my trash can."
Is he willing to empty it?
I don't know. I thought I was going to have. I was
Or have
thinking.
Public Works do it?
No.
Mark,
I was
need
going to
another-
have
I need another
Debbie's.
employee, Mark.
I was going to have Parks and Recreation. The person who picks up over at the Tway House go around and pick that up because it's only.
You were gonna have that?
Well, I was going to have you have it.
Well, thank you for letting me do that.
If
Okay,
we,
I will thank you.
Actually, we have a person that goes around and picks up all the cans around the city.
Sounds like we need an ad hoc committee,
Oh, please, not another
trash
committee.
can
Yeah,
committee.
could you find a
Do we-
less expensive than $1,000 to put a garbage can?
I got another, why are we getting into this? Are we gonna do this for everybody? That these are poop out there?
Well,
Are we
you
gonna
know
do that
what?
for everybody?
I'm going to give you his name and number.
I don't
and you'll
care.
call him.
Well, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna go around picking up everybody's poop around on the streets because they're too lazy to do it
Oh,
themselves?
because you know what?
It's in
The
the park.
people around in J-Town, I'm going to say, don't seem to walk as much as their dogs. Over there at Plainview, they're always walking.
By the way, Plainview is in J-Town.
I'm saying on this side. Sorry, I didn't clarify that. I mean, I don't know. They're having a problem
You
with
want it
it.
just on that corner, or you want it on all the round corners?
He
of
only
Plainview?
wanted on that corner. He said you can go over there and look in the bush.
I thought it was,
I
I
don't
thought it was a park. over
No,
there.
it's not a park.
No,
It's not a park?
It's a street. It's a street corner.
it's a street corner.
Just a regular street corner?
Yep.
Street corner, and they said go over and look in the bush.
I withdraw my motion.
You never got a second.
I
anyway.
second that.
You may have more complaints about it being there than not being there.
I thought this was part of the
Yeah,
park over there,
Mm-mm.
by the pool.
Do we have any motion, or do we have like a motion, or
I'm going to call Mr. Hunter, and for lack of a motion, it died, and he cannot have a garbage can.
okay, that one's good. So we talk about it later. Okay. Have some exciting news. It's not about pooper scoopers. This year is our 225th anniversary for all those who've been around a while. And so we will be celebrating it at the Summerfest, and we'll be releasing the new seal that we have developed for the Summerfest. We're not going to release it early because we don't want anybody to falsely put it out too early. But with that, we want to celebrate in some way, shape, and form, not only at Summerfest.
What day is that, Summerfest?
It's like usually what is it, the first Thursday of
Get it for you, Carol, but that
July.
doesn't have anything to do
Okay.
with the conversation right
I
now.
just want to know what month, so I'm here.
end of June, beginning of
Just
July.
went squirrel on me, kid.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay. Anyway, we feel that we want to let people know about J-Town's been around for 225 years because the respect of the smaller cities in this community is somewhat lacking, which will not be lacking in January of next year because that mayor will respect you. But anyway, we feel that as it comes up to Gaslight, that we'd like to put a float or we are going to put a float in Gaslight. There's a person back in the park that does professional floats, and he has designed the float with the arch and the new seal and the Gaslight on it. And Matt's actually gone to LG&E to get the gas lights for the corner. They donated the gas lights for the corner. It's the street lights. We got them free. We could use those, right?
Let's say, can we put 'em on the
Put them around
streets
the
first?
city. But and then so it not only we decided since we're going to do that for the Gaslight, we might as well get double use out of it. So we will be putting the same float in the Pegasus Parade on the Sunday of the Pegasus Parade. Now, where it comes into play with you all is the float itself should have dignitaries on it, and you all are considered dignitaries.
They consider us that now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's why I called you Mr. Bloom.
Mr. Bloom.
Councilman.
Yeah, that's my father, Mr.
Yeah,
Bloom.
yeah.
Will you be joining us?
So I would like to know if any of you all would like to be a participant on the float for the Pegasus Parade.
And that's the one where they're driving her all throughout Jefferson
Nope,
County.
nope. That is part of the parade, but that is not the official parade. They did the drive around with some of the sponsored floats.
COVID.
And then but this year they did the same thing. They did the drive around, but they're actually the true Pegasus parade, which is one of the biggest parades. We will be in, and it will be the one going down Broadway.
I would like to do it if we have a way down and a way back. I can't park 6 blocks away and try to walk up there and get.
Well, we'll put you down as a yes, Carol, and then we'll figure out a police escort to get you there.
Okay.
Or something.
Now that, this year's,
Yes,
And what day did you
it's on
say?
Sunday.
What's on Sunday?
Sunday?
No, Thursday.
Yeah, Sunday, May 1st.
Really?
May 1st.
I'll be there.
This
Mayor.
is only the council, not family, friends, and everybody else.
Right.
I'm tentative. I'll be tentative.
Mark,
I'll be there, Mayor.
I'm tentative, Mayor.
Ray,
Just us.
Brian, you
Yes.
said yes. Tim,
Yes, I'm trying to enter it into my phone though. You said 3:00?
3 o'clock.
we're going to have to give you more exact time when to get
Information.
there and where to get.
It's May 1st.
It'd probably be before 3. You
We
got
could
to get
probably
down
be
there.
here and ride together, couldn't we, Mayor? Something like that?
Possibly,
Could we
yeah.
take the trolley?
To let you know, the float will be, we, 2 things. The float will be pulled by a public works vehicle. We thought that the looks of the great look of our public works vehicle would be a great thing to pull it by rather than a tractor. And then, Debbie, this is a project of Matt, Debbie, and Emily, by the way. They're working on our anniversary. But the thought is possibly have the trolley, but the problem with the trolley is you can't really see
Yeah, you
anything.
can't see
So
anything in it.
we think it'd be better just to ride the float, and then we may have some walkers.
I was just saying we take the trolley down to downtown Louisville.
Yeah.
As a way
We
to
don't have anybody
carpool.
to drive it right now, but yes. Vince
yes, I'll try, yes.
and Ron.
Yes.
Okay. That's all 8.
That's a shocker.
I am
isn't it?
putting all 8 of y'all down as yeses. If for the maybes, the questions I got, if y'all would let us know as soon as you can, so we can put somebody in your place or something like that. We're looking at putting a park bench of some kind or something on it, maybe taking one of our park benches up and setting it on there so you have someplace to sit down also possibly, or have some kind of chairs or something. So that's the great thing. As I said, we'll have it both in the Gaslight Festival and for the Pegasus. Pegasus, you'll be riding on it. Gaslight Festival, you all can decide whether you want to ride on it or do the convertible. The next thing is the council meeting on May 17th is election night. And yes, you probably could have the meeting at 6 and get through if it was a short meeting, but that's right during budget, guys. And we'll probably be bringing you all budget material to be approved or talked about or something like that. So my suggestion, actually it was Missy's suggestion, not mine. She controls my schedule. She was thinking May 16th would be a good time to go ahead and get it done and go from there.
Yeah, I'd say either the day before or the day after.
Yeah, the day before is easier on us to do that if y'all so choose. So if y'all are okay to make a motion, it would be a special meeting since it's moved. So we'd have an agenda and get it over and done with. But
You need a motion?
yes, please.
Make a motion that the second meeting in May be moved to May 16th instead of May the 17th
6 o'clock.
at 6 o'clock.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will meet at that time and before. With that being said, it's 8 bells and it's time to celebrate the great city that we have and move out and see it. So I will entertain a motion from Councilman Powell.
Mayor, before I let anybody else talk, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You're right. that was a-
A lot to cover. A lot to cover.